So I think Posey will tinker with the line of saying, we got to run more, we got to bump more, we got to do whatever we got to do to win baseball games. It's time to go.
Let's go.
It's a message to everybody in this organization. And if you're not with the program, you may be like Lamont Wade Jr. saying, bye-bye, I'm looking for another job somewhere.
There are seminal moments in a season, depending on how the season plays out, that get elevated over time. But in real time, when Ramos had that hit down the line, I'm not saying it was on the level of Mike Tauchman, but I could see if they go on a little run and they're competitive and they find a way to make the playoffs, I think we're going to point back to that moment as one of those ones. And to see him fired up and like, and yelling, like I jumped out of bed and I was losing my mind. If ever a team needed a hit down the line to tie the game, it was that team in that moment. And I'm just so happy for Elliot Ramos.
No, Elliot Ramos is a great guy. I know you were talking about me meeting with Davis, but I was down there just trying to familiarize myself with the Giants. And he's got a good spirit, Ramos, that is, and he's been on fire. I mean, the guy, outside of Freddie Freeman and our boy in Cleveland, Jose Ramirez.
Baller.
Ramos is batting just as well as those guys. He's batting over 380 over his last, 25 games or whatnot. In that moment, I think we all thought it as Giants fans. If they win this game, that's a game we're going to look back at because I was chilling yesterday at Oracle watching people walk into the gates. And there's a vibe. There's a bug going around down at 3rd and King where somebody feels like, I'm starting to feel like something special may be happening with this team. Now, they're a couple players away. I'm not saying championship or anything like that. But that play, Shasky, to your point, they have that because they're down 5-0. They hadn't scored 4 runs in God knows how long.
And Kyle Harrison gets knocked off the mound, even though it wasn't. I didn't think it was the worst start, but I could already see where it was going. Oh, they can't score. Oh, Harrison's not good. Oh, this, all that. And I could see where it was going.
And they picked them up. And look, we'll get to Harrison and everything like that. But considering the way the day started, with Lamont Wade Jr. being designated for assignment, Christian Koss going back down to Sacramento, and you're bringing up guys we don't even know, Daniel Johnson, and you signed Dominic Smith, who I knew was a Met. I remember watching him with the Met, but I didn't think anything of it. But to just see Posey make some moves and then tell Alex Pavlovich, it's go time. Yeah. And when he said it's go time, I felt like putting on eye black. And I thought about Posey coming up May 29th, back in 2010, and what he did that June when he batted over 400.
15 years ago this week.
15 years ago this week. And automatically I said, we got the right guy in place. All right, Farhan, give him his credit because he found a lot of these players.
Robbie Ray trade was a great trade.
It was a great trade to get Haniger and DeSclafani out of here. Robbie Ray's pitching like a Cy Young Award winner again. And when he said, it's go time, it sent the message to the clubhouse, and I think it sent the message to the fans saying, we're not messing around here, or we're not wasting this opportunity to be in a race with the Dodgers and the Padres. Let's make something of this season. So I'm fired up about the Giants right now.
You could feel the energy going, and I think also the Padres, the Bean Bowl war that happened early in the week, I'm telling you, I'm not saying they're rivals, but there's something brewing between the Padres, Bob Melvin, the Giants, everything. Machado, Tatis. I'm telling, there's something here. I don't know what it is, but it's simmering.
You know what it is, Spadoni? It's the Giants reintroducing themselves to the NL West rival, saying, we're no longer a pushover anymore. Yeah, the Rockies are they're the Sweller dwellers, but the Diamondbacks and the Padres, no. This division is between the Giants and the Dodgers. And I think the Giants sending that message, getting a split. That split was massive for them to come back from 5-0 and then win that game when Doval didn't have his best stuff. Look, man, they're a couple players away. That pitching, you can't fake pitching.
No.
It's elite. The bullpen, the starters now, I would like to see another lefty, and I think that's where Kyle Harrison comes into play. There's value here. I'm not mad if he goes back to the pen as a lefty because Eric Miller's given up. Opponents are batting 270 against Eric Miller.
He's not throwing strikes.
Yeah, he's not throwing strikes. He's not locating it. It feels like it's just a matter of time before he gets lit up. Now I got another lefty in the bullpen to go along with Birdsong. I got the Wisenhunt guy in AAA. Verlander's coming back soon. Just get the hitting going, and it's streaky right now, but find a way to win games. I think these 2 games we're going to look back at and say these are pivotal moments this year.
No, you hope so, and you mentioned something there. Talking about the pulse of a fan base and knowing it, it's so important when you're the GM. So many times I felt like, whether it's John Lynch at times, when he speaks to the media, it's like, you know what, I feel the urgency when he speaks. And listen, this isn't the crush Farhan hour. You mentioned he made some good moves that are still helping out the team today, obviously Robbie Ray being one of them. But when he spoke, I never felt the connection. If I'm a fan, I just never felt it. And the fact that Buster Posey, fan favorite, 3-time World Series champion, Giants Hall of Famer, going to be a future Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, and he's not this huge rah-rah guy, but he is intense. And I do feel the urgency when he speaks. So when he said it's time to go, I felt that. And it's like, good. Like, someone needed to say it. And first of all, like, Bob Melvin's not really that rah-rah guy. Like, he gets ejected, he gets fiery sometimes, but that's not really who he is. And it was the time for Buster Posey to say that, and for them to react the way they did, being down 5-0 when it felt like it was 20-0. That was huge for them to come back.
We've talked a lot about Bob Melvin, and he's kind of like, not that he's monotone, but he's not like flip the spread kind of a guy. He's not. Kyle Shanahan isn't either. And when I go to practice, I don't go all the time, but when I go to practice, there is something about John Lynch when he walks onto the field. I'm not saying everyone takes their cue from him, but a large part of that team you could see built in his vision.
Yep.
The physicality, the intensity, and like a Fred Warner or whatever. Kyle is just Kyle. And he's the X's and O's genius, but I don't think the team takes on his personality per se. That doesn't mean he's not a great coach, right? Some teams take on the personality of other people, their quarterback or the defensive coordinator or a GM. In this circumstance, I do feel like Posey has now taken on, like, that's the vision of where they're going. The intensity is going to come from him. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense because Lynch, I was already envisioning Lynch being down on the field while the team is practicing, and he's 40 yards away with his arms crossed, just watching everything from behind the free safety. Posey did something this spring training I think doesn't get highlighted enough. He brought back a lot of the old guard. He, where the previous regime didn't really embrace the history of the Giants, he enhanced the history. Pennant, come back. Crawford, come back. Bonds, come around. JT Snow, come around. Sean Estes, where you at? Richie Rio, where you at? Dusty, where? Let me make some phone calls and get all the old guard here to show them what the Giants are about, the fabric of the Giants. And so they got that cue from him. And now you look at them play and the way they started the season and how they're going about it. Look, we know about the slump. You're going to have slumps when you're hitting. And it was actually pretty laughable the way they weren't scoring 4 runs and they were getting shut down. But then I had to, and maybe I'm getting a little soft here, but I had to sit back for a second and say, you know what? They're one hit away from winning some of these games. They're one hit away because the pitching continued to roll. So, yes, that intensity saying that we can win any given game on any given day, that does come from Buster Posey. And that presence of just having him around and knowing what he's about and knowing what this team is about. Again, 15 years almost to the day when he was called up. And when he said, it is time to go, it hit me in my cardiac, as Guru would say, Shasky and Spadoni. Like, Posey means business. And they're not done yet. You know they're not done yet.
I'm looking at the Giants right now, and I'm saying to myself, like Logan, what an unbelievable start. Robbie Ray, and I asked him this, and I'll throw it to you. I'm not saying he is this guy, but when he's dominant and the way he turns his shoulder, and like he's been on a lot of teams, I get like envisioning shades of Cliff Lee when I'm watching Robbie Ray kind of dominate. They're different pitchers, they're different players, but like Cliff was always underrated and you kind of forgot about him. And then he had his run with the Rangers and obviously with the Phillies when he went back there. Like Robbie Ray, when he's on, it reminds me of Cliff Lee.
Isn't it? It's crazy that Robbie Ray's been in the league since 2014.
He's good though.
But I haven't started paying attention. I don't know about you, Bonta. I know you're big into fantasy baseball, but like I haven't paid attention to the guy since he was a Blue Jay, which was 5 years ago. More than half of his career was as a Diamondback. Like it's like I don't remember him as a. I'm trying to remember him as a Diamondback, and I don't.
In fantasy baseball, he was either really good or he struggled, but he would get strikeouts. So you would select him.
Right.
Look, Cliff Lee's interesting because he would work quick. Quickly would work quick.
Yeah.
Robbie Ray kind of takes his time, and he kind of. But he's just got nasty stuff.
It's that lefty kind of like I hold my shoulder. I don't know. It's hard to explain it. He just reminds me of him when he's on.
But this is why in today's modern game, if you could just get in, and we're a long way away. But when you got Webb and Ray at the top of your rotation, and whether or not Ray's the one or Webb's the one, I don't really care. They're both giving you 7. And they're keeping, like, Logan Webb's ERA at home this year is under 1.39.
Yeah,
he's shoving at Oracle Park. Yeah. So you just got to get through the first 3 innings as we're showing the numbers here. His ERA in the first 3 innings is just wild,
I thought he had his best stuff of the year the other night.
Yep. 9-pitch first inning against the Padres. Yeah, the sweeper was rolling. 9-pitch first inning, and you see that he was on. So you got Ray and you got Webb. Birdsong's coming along. As long as he doesn't walk guys, Birdsong's coming along. He's learning how to pitch. Landon Roop's already hit a career high, I believe, in innings. But Roop, since May 5th, has got an ERA under 2. He's dealing right now, working the all-speed stuff, the curveball, obviously. And then you get Justin Verlander back, who I think I want to keep around here because he knows what it's like to navigate through a pennant race. I'm not done with him because he can help the bird songs. Yeah. He can help the Harrisons. If they call up Wizenhunt, he can help these youngsters navigate through August and September saying, this is how you pitch with the pressure on the line here. So there's a spot for Verlander. Now, Harrison, whether he starts in the rotation or goes out of the pen, there's value with him. So I like where the pitching at. Now you got to just get the bats rolling.
When I heard it's go time, and when I heard go time, I saw it as a catch-all. So it's go time like in the standings. Yep. It's go time offense, get it going. It's go time, hey, veterans, wake up.
Yep.
Like this isn't the first month or even the second month. We are in the third month of the season. Adames, Chapman, et cetera, Jung-Hoo Lee. And then also to the young guys. And I think you have a slew. I was looking at the Sacramento River Cats, Meckler and Grant McCrary and Luciano, and they've got a ton of guys, and I'm saying to myself, there's too many young guys to not make a trade. I don't know what it gets you. I don't know what those guys are going to fetch you. Wizenhunt, obviously Harrison, and Birdsong, they are dealing from a position of strength, and I think that if they are going to make a deal, they do have a lot of pieces. Matos is another name I haven't referenced. I think that they've got desirable young players, maybe a couple of pitching arms that you could throw in there. I don't know what it gets you, but I do think a trade's coming.
Yeah, no, they're going to wait on that, and I do think they're not done making moves. And to your point, some of these youngsters, Posey has emphasized a running game. You notice over the last week, they're running a lot more. You know how I feel about this Park, Shasky, and Spadoni. I want guys running. That's why I want Jung-Hoo Lee. If he's batting, I want Jung-Hoo Lee running more.
How about Ramos tagging up on the play where Fitzgerald scored, and I thought he was going to get thrown out at third.
But I want the running game.
I agree.
Cause chaos on the base pass. Get more athletic. And so far, just the defense in 2 games. In 2 games without Lamont Wade Jr. with Yaz on the bench. Dominic Smith and this Daniel Johnson guy who made that catch in the 9th inning Wednesday night as if he wanted nothing to do with Sacramento ever again. He was on his high horse, and he came through with that. I said, okay, this guy's got athleticism. You got quicker. You got speedier with the lineup, so now you just need a little power. So I think Posey will tinker with the lineup saying, we got to run more, we got to bump more, we got to do whatever we got to do to win baseball games. So to your point, it's time to go.
Let's go.
It's a message to everybody in this organization. And if you're not with the program, you may be like Lamont Wade Jr. saying, bye-bye, I'm looking for another job somewhere.